like we've done for previous events, we're just going to look at our overall predictions, highlight the guys with a clear edge from the Dimers model, and then look at a couple golfers to watch. We'll take a peek at the top 20, top 10, top 5 placement value. But for the most part, anything beyond these edges will be found by you digging into these predictions on your own, or any written content that you may find on site, which I hope to spin out at least a couple of articles looking at this tournament between now and teeing off on Thursday. So Scotty Scheffler leads us off, plus 335, 27.3%. It is value. He's fair at plus 265. We're probably going to see this quite regularly, where Scotty is a very short favorite, but also gets an edge because our model understands how good he is and keeps putting him with such a substantial chunk of the win equity at the top. Unbelievable comeback from him this past week. He was way out of it after another slow start, then 2 eagles on the front 9, and then a 3rd eagle on the day. Just shows how incredible he really is. It can't be overstated. Even when he is completely out of it, he is not out of it. He's going to be the man to beat in every tournament, obviously. But right here, we're getting some pretty solid value this weekend. One of the better prices on him this year. He's got pretty solid history here. T7, T12, T10, and T3 in his last 4 tries. Like, just incredible stuff. Feels like you need to have something on him if you're betting outrights in the tournament, as he's proving to be a threat all the way down to the wire, even when it looks like he's out of the chase. Whether you are betting your other winners without Scheffler, or simply betting on Scheffler to win when he has the edge, I think you just have to have him in consideration no matter what, or else you might find yourself, with regrets come Sunday anyway. This is one of his more desirable top 5 odds here. Minus 116, 58.8%. That would be fair, close to minus 140. So pretty good value. Getting outside of that, it's just too juicy of odds. Minus 245 for a top 10, even though he's basically automatic at that. Just not something I'm looking to explore personally. If you want to get plus money on him without an outright win, I guess you could take him top 5 and then maybe pair him with one of our other top golfers to finish top 40, even Rory, Tommy Fleetwood. That should be more than enough to bring him down into plus money territory. But you have to understand, you're inviting that little additional risk of that guy not finishing there. But other than that, you can get an edge on him to win outright. It's pretty solid. I'm probably going to have to, alongside the other guys I like this weekend. Speaking of other guys I like this weekend, Tommy Fleetwood model loves him. I love him. He's 8.5% to win here, plus 2150 on DraftKings. That would be fair at plus 1075. So a huge edge, literally double the odds. It's really hard not to love him once again for a number of reasons. One of those being that he is priced as a top 5 guy here, alongside Xander Schauffele, Rory McIlroy, where's Hideki Matsuyama? Right here. So he's priced as top 5, but our model has him as the 2nd most likely winner. His fair odds would be shorter than what Rory is right now, outright. Just like last week's event, Fleetwood has improved every single time he's played in this one. T37, T28, T20, T10, and then T5 last year. In last 5 appearances, he's coming into this one with great form. Finishing really strongly last year, opening this season with a T4, in contention all the way through the end. Ranked 6th on approach, 23rd in scrambling last year. He's very familiar with this course, and he still has room to improve because that T5 was at Torrey Pines. So his personal best here is a T10, and his trend has continued where he's improved each time, and our model seems like it's predicting that to continue. You can get value on him all the way through. 31.5% at plus 44.35 for a top 5 is incredible. Plus 200 here, almost at 50% for a top 10. Excellent value. Top 20, not getting him plus money this week, but an even stronger probability, probably in part due to the smaller field. However, it is a very stacked field, so he could find himself competing to finish top 5, top 10. But I would be very surprised if we're not looking at Tommy Fleetwood, easily in the top 15 come Sunday. Next guy to look at, let's take a look at Matt Fitzpatrick here. No major value when you're looking at his outright win, really any of the placements, but it does exist plus 4,000 here at 2.8%. That'd be fair at plus 3,500. He's got some shaky history here. Personal best T5 in 2021, but 2 cuts and a solo 49 since then. Pretty solid start this year, though, with a solo 9th and T14 in back-to-back events. He's been great on approach, ranking 4th this year, hitting the 3rd most greens in regulation, which is really hard to do at this course. Despite them being very large, it's tough to get the ball to stick, and he's been very good at doing that this season. Not really a good scrambler, but he's excellent off the tee, both accuracy and distance-wise. So that might be able to eliminate some of those issues he has getting down closer to the greens. Probably one of the more conservative values in this tournament, but there is value here on a guy who's got some momentum pretty early in the season. Plus 130, 47% for a top 20. Just about fair. A little bit of an edge. 26.2% plus 320. So fair at 25% would be plus 300. So you're getting a little bit better of a price at just slightly higher probability, which is good on a guy who's in some pretty solid form. So he should be on your radar as well, even if his value isn't significant. And then another guy at the same probability here, Ben Griffin, getting back on the Griffin train this week after he started to make a run this weekend before a pretty rough day 4. Like I said, 2.8% alongside Fitzpatrick. Would be the same fair odds at plus 3,500, though at least as of now, you can get him at 45-1 on Bet Rivers. Not off to the start you would think a guy who won 3 times last season would be. He's finished slightly worse in each start since his T19 to open the year, which is a little bit concerning, but he's so good and so talented. You have to figure it's going to balance out sooner than later. Might be kind of a tough field to do that since everybody is so talented here. Like, he might play really well, but still not finish quite as high as you'd like. But it's just worth looking at him based on the odds alone. Pretty solid value here in the outright, at least plus 500 to plus 1,000 shorter for fair odds compared to his best odds, depending where you look. And a clear edge in top 20 here, almost 50% at plus 140, and top 10, almost 28% at plus 360. It's a bit unfortunate as what's causing him to struggle this year doesn't really line up as a great fit for this course. He's pretty below average on approach. And while he's been accurate off the tee, his power isn't there, and it's making him inefficient, which is causing him to struggle with scoring. But like I said, he did start to pull it together on day 3. Starting to climb the leaderboard pretty well. And maybe if the weather had been better, he might have been able to close it out a little more strongly. But, he's got to be on your radar here based on these odds. If he struggles once again, I think you could probably back off on him for a little bit, even if he's showing value. Maybe you want to sprinkle on him, but I think you can maybe wait and see if he figures it out. If he stumbles once again, that'll be 4 straight starts outside top 20 after an opening T19. So, maybe back off, but good value this weekend. So he's definitely worth a shot, at least consideration. And then let's look at the golfers to watch as we have so far. Russell Henley here, guy I loved for a ladder last week. Would have liked a bit more than a T19 dead heat chop for his efforts, but he's off to a really good start this year. 2 T19s and a T8, only 2 rounds over 70 out of 12 so far. Really good. He's going to break through sooner than later. Could be this weekend. He's got a well-rounded game that fits this course well, even if he's a little short on power. Jake Knapp is another one. He's decently down here. The model is not quite as high on his form as the books. I mean, we got him plus 4,000. That's a pretty nice price as far as an outright in a smaller field, but only 1.4%. You want something closer to like 8,000 here, 80 plus 8,200 or so. Local native, hot start this year, 3 top 10s and a T11. Just one of those guys that there might not be value there, especially with the form he's playing in, but you don't want to overlook him. You should probably consider him at least to contend. Let's see what he is for a top 20 here. It's not going to be value. 36.9% at plus 135. So that's not super far off. You'd want plus 150 at 40%. So it's not crazy. You're getting plus money on a guy who's not finished outside this yet. But just you have to consider that the model is not seeing an edge on him. So you'd be betting against your own interests as far as getting a fair price is concerned. But he's just off to such an insane start. You have to consider him anyway. Ricky Fowler, a guy who sort of made a push last weekend early on and then kind of came apart, but been the model of consistency as far as finishing results so far this year. In 3 events, he's T18, T18, and T19. Undone this past weekend, as I mentioned, by a 73 and 70 over the weekend after a strong start, almost a piece of the lead early on. But there's no red flags in his course fit here. There's just not getting any value with his odds. He hasn't done better than a pair of T20s and 9 tries at this event. So one thing to consider here, 38.1%, I believe, last I checked, for his 4th consecutive top 20, though. Hasn't, like I said, T18, T18, and T19 to start the year. Pretty solid form. Not a lot of concerns as far as, where his game is good and where it's not. So another guy should at least be on your radar this weekend, even if, again, he doesn't have any value. And then one more, a little bit further down here. I might have to search for him because here we go. Ryo Hitsasune. This kid is off to something really nice this season. He's showing some serious upside, and I don't know if it's fleeting, if he's going to come back down to earth or not, but he's 23 years old. He's T2, T10, and T8 in 3 straight starts. Really well-rounded game all the way around. Way down here at only 17.5% to finish top 20. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the mix, at least for here or better after the cut. He's just really onto something early. And when you're riding a hot hand, sometimes, you concern a little bit less. You find yourself less concerned with the fit and more with the form. And right now he is a guy who is certainly in form. Loads of top 20 value here outside these other guys. The 3 we mentioned here at the top, JJ Spawn, Harry Hall, familiar names from the Dimers model this season. Not off to spectacular starts, at least Spawn. I haven't truly checked Hall's past couple events. Justin Rose, close to fair odds here. He's a winner this season already. Going further down here, Shane Lowry, probably worth a look after a solid start. T8, certainly someone to consider. And then once you get down here, we're almost at the bottom of the pile here. 400, 20% on Aaron Ray. He was pretty rough this past weekend, though. Ryan Fox made a run. Getting a little bit of an edge here. This should be about 20 points, I think 390. So you get a little edge there. And then you can look way down here on a couple of guys. I just have to kind of not chuckle at, but it's such a 16-1 for top 20 from Jonathan Vegas. There's only 2 guys. No one else is even 10-1, So, it's just kind of interesting. So you're 3.2%. That's not that. No, yeah, probably around like 2,500, I think. Yeah. So it's definitely not fair odds, but I don't know. The only guy out here that long. So you never know, I guess. But Genesis Invitational should be a good event. Lots of good stuff here from the model. Similar guys that we've seen value on already this season. I will certainly be on Tommy Fleetwood. I will certainly be on Russell Henley again. TBD how much I get invested in the other guys. But those golfers to watch, Ricky Fowler, Jake Knapp, Ryo Hitsasune, they're very much on my radar as well. And hopefully we'll come away with a couple more good wins here. And if not pre-tournament, hopefully the model finds something mid-tournament live with its subsequent updates, which, friendly reminder, always look out for those on site. With Dimers Pro, every single round, you'll find your updated predictions for top 20, 10, 5, and outright. As long as there are no delays or suspensions to the round, we do need the round to be completed with all golfers finishing their 18 holes in order to run our updated sims. So PGA preview, Genesis Invitational, fun stuff here, guys. Yeah, let's look forward to it.